keep on coming back. I'm in addition.
Ladies and gentlemen, PAX East 2015 Day 2. What the fuck is up? We have an important ritual to iterate. The Make a Strip panel, it requires, much like any spell, it requires some material components. In this case, the script. And we're going to use this computer to do it. I think.
Can I read that?
Can you read testing, testing? No, that's here. No, it's in a super small window. What is the swear word? I will generate in the manner of a Perl script.
Can you read that?
A swear word.
Okay.
Yep, they can. All right, I'll take it from here.
Yeah, we can do knuckles while Jerry's typing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to count to 3, and on the count of 3, everybody in here is going to crack their knuckles at the exact same time. It's going to be horrible. It's something we do. It's something we do. All right, so is everybody ready? So it's going to be on 3, not like 1, 2, 3, then crack. It's going to be 3 and we crack, okay? All right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's vile. That's really gross.
What we learned at PAX South is that Texans have very moist knuckles.
So this might be interesting for you all. We actually don't have our questions yet. Yeah, Robert said that he was bringing them, but he's a liar. So this could be a very interesting panel. You can't read it? I don't know how to make it bigger in OneNote. Now what are you just going to play some asphalt? No, you're just fucking around on my computer. Oh, notepad. All right, take it easy. Okay, I do have to draw it. Oh, no, that's a crime. Yeah, my son the other day, my 10-year-old told me that he really likes the font Comic Sans. I know. I felt like I had failed as a father.
No, it's Tyco ML. There's no closed tags. It's just open tags. There is, I would hesitate to guess what that fluid.
It looks like semen.
What that hardening fluid is. You don't have to brush it over here. That's fine. Well, Gabriel, you entertain them, and
Okay. You gonna wait for Robert to bring questions?
yep, hang on.
I'm working on it. Hold on, hold on.
All right, Michael, do you have everything that you need?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to have a great time up here. I don't know what you're going to do for the next 85 minutes.
Hi,
It's
Dave.
funny, we were backstage, and we're like, oh, we don't have the questions yet. And I'm like, it's okay, let's just go out there, let's just do it. And because I got something to do out here.
This may be an opportunity to figure out precisely what the range of this microphone is. I could go down to Starbucks. And what's that? Rap? No, I'm not gonna rap. I'm not gonna spit flows off the dome.
You could sing a song. Sing us a song.
Okay, all right. I'll sing one sea shanty, but that's it. Then I'm gonna find Robert. You'll hear me mumbling dark oaths under my breath. Oh, man, I'll get to your swear word. Don't pressure me. Sing me a song of a lad that is gone, say, could that lad be I? Merry of soul, he sailed on a day over the sea to sky. Mull was astern, rum on the port, high on the starboard bow. Glory of life shone in his soul, where is that glory now? All right. I have half a mind to operate this. It'd just be the same verse again. I have half a mind to operate this in sort of like an Oprah type context. Like I'll just walk among the people and see what's on their mind.
Yeah, do it. See what they want to know.
Is there any, if you have a question for me and you are very near the edge of the aisle, why not raise your hand? Maybe I will come.
If you have a question and it's convenient for me.
All right, let's test we're going to do some boundary testing on this microphone. Let's see how it goes. And also, let's see what terrible sounds it produces once I get in front of the monitor. Hello, what's your name?
Chrissy.
Hi, Chrissy. I'm Jerry Holkins.
And this is my nightmare.
That's right. Chrissy, please entertain the gathered throng with a heartfelt question.
All of the things you've ever written have become quotes that all of us use on a daily basis. Do you guys quote yourselves too, or is that just us?
Okay, it would not be cool to say yes.
But it's true that we do.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so if we're doing it, I mean, so my purpose, like theoretically, if I was writing a comic to entertain people, it should be funny. Like, that would be a good goal, but that's not my goal, right? My goal is to provide people with a kind of, like, linguistic Swiss Army knife, right? I want them to be able to get it out and then just pull the right phrase out of it. I want to make, like, tools for people to use in their daily lives. And I know that that is not the same as making a comic that is funny, but that's my goal. Thank you. I'll get to you. Hello, what's your name?
Jacob,
Jacob. How can I help you today?
my question is, do you like pie?
It's pretty good. Thank you. You're too far in, man. I would need like a deep bore drilling machine. Oh, hold on, there's an aisle there. Right here, we'll get to you next.
Hello.
Hi.
My question to the both of you, actually, what has been your personal favorite strip to write, and what has been yours, your favorite to actually illustrate?
My favorite to illustrate recently was the League of Legends fanfic we did with Leona and Diana. That was a lot of fun to draw.
Yeah, my favorite, I have like favorite lines, like individual lines that I think, more than strips. Because my idea, right, is to just make little pieces of language that you can take with you. And I can never remember if like drinking or not drinking is being on or off the wagon. But, right? So there's a line in one of the strips where it says, you don't have to get off the wagon or on the wagon. You don't have to do anything with a wagon that makes you uncomfortable. Like, so for me, it's like these little snips, right? I'm sure that we have done at some point in our career a comic strip that is complete, that starts at one side and then ends presumably after 3 or so panels. But I can't actually remember one. I wrote one 5 minutes ago, and I don't remember it. All right, I'm on this shit. Vault dweller. All right, what you got?
So I personally find writing jokes is very hard, and I was wondering if you have found that a certain length of joke works better. Like, does it just get way wildly out of control, and then you're like, oh no, and you lose yourself in the question you're asking at the panel, and then
You lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You gotta never let it go.
We actually have a term for that. We call it the animated series. So we write a joke, and then we'll still have funny ideas, so we'll say, all right, well, that's the comic. But if this was an animated series, here's how the joke would keep going.
Right.
Actually, in this case, we had one.
Yeah, what's the animated series for this one? So the animated series is sort of like the 4th panel, right?
Yeah. So in this one, it ends with, oh, Gabriel, those are cosplayers. And then the joke is, if this was the animated series, the next line would be, shit, then we need to keep kids from pushing them into the street.
Right? So, humor, any kind of writing, maybe any kind of like creative mechanism, there has to be a point in there where you are really, really comfortable. It's called killing your babies. Don't really kill a baby. I wanna make sure that that's not what you take out of this. But don't kill him, ever. You see a baby, fucking don't kill that baby. All right, all right, yeah, please. But you have to be willing to give stuff up. And so for us, a lot of times it might be an extra panel. Like, we really like the 3-panel length basically acts as a built-in editor. Not that it like actually tamps down my worst ideas. Sometimes they still manage to escape even into that pen, right? But the main thing is that you just have to be willing to throw stuff out. That's it. It's hard. It's hard at first. But as far as like writing jokes, like we sort of have like cheat mode, right? So if I were sitting, in my apocalypse bunker, right, hunched down on some dry beans, I would not know if the things I were making were good or not. I have things that I like it's just individual lines like bullshit, like shrapnel, not even real language, just crazy shit. And if I didn't have a point of reference in the form of another person to react to it, this comic would be even weirder than it is. He's like the gatekeeper, because no matter what I have to do, he has to agree to draw it. And I'm not saying that just for your amusement, although I hope it functions for that. Like, we do not agree on what should go into the comic often. Right? So we have the 3 panels and we have the editor. Would you like to follow up?
Well, I do a webcomic, and I'm the writer and the artist.
Okay, just do your URL. Just get it out there. I know what this is about. This whole thing is a trap. Here, just do you have to do the URL now.
Okay.
Right, you're stuck.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
It's peregrine.com, but it's P-A-E. Other than that, it's like the same.
Okay. All right. That's
Hey.
plucky.
Hey, Jerry,
Yeah.
we got a stuffed lobster now.
Oh, delicious. Well, that was a lot of fun. We'll try it again sometime. Did Robert drop him off?
I guess. Here. I'm just going to grab a red right away.
To get zesty.
Bum, bum, dum. Let's see. Over the years, PA has fought against censorship attempts from many bullies. Now that you are filthy rich, have you considered taking a stand on behalf of all creators by putting your strawberry shortcake parody back online? This is from Eric in North Carolina.
What? I can do it. I mean, you got to draw strips,
I
right?
gotta draw. I got shit to do.
Yeah, yeah. So that, do you remember, so as a generality, do you know what's being asked about in this? Do you sort of remember the strawberry shortcake, like S&M thing? All right. Yeah, right. So that ended up being a lot more complicated than I thought. So I was under the impression that, you know, like the First Amendment or whatever, I had some misconceptions about what the First Amendment actually meant. I thought that it meant that you could make erotic versions of children's toys and then put them on the internet. And to a certain extent, I think that's what the founders intended. I think that that's what they had in mind. I don't know what kind of toys they had back then, but I bet it was hot. But we actually ran into a very specific legal problem that you might find interesting. So while it's true that we have amendments and stuff, and parody is okay, where we got into trouble was that we weren't making a parody of strawberry shortcake. You see what I mean? Like we didn't get any protections legally because we were using strawberry shortcake to parody someone else's work. So I thought it was going to be like a cut and dried thing, but because we used one thing and did not satirize it or reinterpret it really in any way on itself, we only used it to make fun of something else. That's why we got into trouble. Because we talked to like the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund, and they were like, "We are not even fucking touching that," because they like the clear cut stuff. You know, they like stuff that's truly censorious. That's censorious based on content, not based on IP. You know, struggles.
Yeah, if it was actually just them being stupid bullies and trying to scare us, absolutely we would do it. But
Oh yeah, absolutely.
we would have gotten screwed on that pretty bad.
Did Jerry really run the hot water out before Mike would take a shower for years? Or was that a joke? It seems too fucked up to be real.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
This is from Walrus von Zeppelin, KY, which is either the state or the jelly. It's one of the two. I would like to talk to this man. What is it like to be there? So yes, absolutely. So the way that it worked, Apartment 26, which is sort of, it's in a lot of the early strips, like whenever there needs to be a door for the apartment, this infinite apartment that has anything that we need to have in it for our purpose, there is a 26 on there, and that was the apartment that we lived in. And our bathrooms were sort of up against each other on opposite sides of this wall. And I would get up before him because he worked like in the middle of the day or at night, right? Stocking shelves or doing Toys R Us stuff, or eventually like selling computers at like a Best Buy type place, like the Canadian version of Best Buy.
It's called Circuit City.
I don't know. It's some kind of thing. It's a gigantic box that men and women die inside every day, trying to make people buy bad computers. And
That's not wrong.
yeah, and so what it meant is that I always, like in a game, like I always had the first move token. Every day, I was always, because I had to fix library computers in school, so I was always up before him. And yeah, I would just, the shower would be on, hot water, blessed, glorious hot water. And then where a lot of people would turn the faucet off when they left the shower, I would leave it on. And then even if there was hot water and I could hear the shower go on in his bathroom, I would turn the water on anyway, even if I wasn't taking a shower, so that there would be this sort of dribble on his side that would deprive him of comfort. And it's a great policy,
It's good times, good times.
and it served me well. I mean, that's how I start my day. This question is directed to Jerry specifically. How auspicious. As a big fan of On the Rain-Slick Precipice of Darkness, your news posts and your diction in general, thank you. I was wondering if you would ever write a novel in the foreseeable future. Yes. Russell, this question may be old. It may be aged in the manner of a cheese or a wine. But on the site, you can read the first chapter of my Lookouts novel, if you want to. And I think it turned out good. So, yeah. So we don't have any idea what causes the sound to happen.
No, I don't know what triggers it.
Have you ever felt as though you have lost control of Penny Arcade, that it has become something bigger than you imagined, but also scary because it's not exactly what you envisioned? Does this frighten or excite you? This is from Seth in Lodi, California. It's definitely bigger than I imagined, and it's definitely scary. I would say that it is actually frightening and exciting. I would say that every adjective you have applied in here is definitely true. But the way that it works is that when it gets big, you know, when it embiggens, for lack of a better term, I think that what we try to do is we try to find someone for whom that is interesting. And we give that part of the company to them to run, so that they can have a job that they don't hate. And you would think that some of these things would not be possible. Like before I met Brian, have you met Brian, like down in the shop? He's a good dude. He gets really excited by sourcing different types of cotton. If you were like talking about cotton, he'll perk up. He thinks that cotton is great. But he also, have you ever played a Football Manager? Football Manager is ostensibly a soccer game, but it is actually a spreadsheet. And that is his favorite game, which I think tells you everything about Brian, but also about the fact that there is someone out there that you can match, even with things that you can't even conceive someone enjoying. And you can just hand that part to them and, you know, be excited to see what they pull out of it. So yeah, it's super big and it's super scary, but, you know, if you can find the right people, it's okay. What is the most exciting video game news / rumor that you personally can't wait for?
I actually read a rumor yesterday that Penny Arcade was going to do a Lookouts game with Telltale.
Really?
Yeah,
Where,
that's super
where did you
exciting.
read that incredible news?
It was on Destructoid.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't know where they got it, but
All right. Well, that sounds like I love Penny Arcade,
I'm a huge fan.
and I
Huge fan.
love Telltale.
Yeah.
And I love Lookouts, so, I mean, that's what could go wrong. For me, I basically spend every day in anticipation of The Witcher 3. Yeah, that's it's really important to me for some reason. I don't know, he's got the 2 swords. He seems like a cool guy. What's your jam these days? So, speaking of like new people at Penny Arcade, so Dabe, we brought on Dabe to be a designer, and Dabe has really good taste in music, and so if it's ever quiet for any appreciable length of time, I will go and ask him what I should be listening to. It's on here. It's just on Spotify. I could play a couple tracks. Let's see. God, what is it? It's That Isn't Very Good, or This Isn't Very Good, I think was the one I was listening to. That's the name of the band or the song. I have no idea. It's really, really good. I'll pull it up for you later. But trust me, it's really good. And then I also just listened to Ghosts and Stuff by Deadmau5 for hours at a time. Ethan, I just got this question. What games are you most excited for this year? Okay, so my suspicion is that it's going to be something that we haven't heard about yet, that we don't know about. Because have any of you had a chance to play Helldivers yet? Yes, there should be a lot more clapping. And that means that I have done you a service by telling you about Helldivers. It looks like, if you look at a screenshot, or if you were to read about like the type of game it is, you'd be like, oh, okay, twin stick shooter, great. You know, I have about 20 of those. Maybe I can play one of the ones that I already own. But it's way, way more than that. I mean, so what's the major takeaway from Helldivers? That making it super hard and then adding in friendly fire that you can't turn off.
Yeah, it's the combination of friendly fire and the ability to go prone. So going prone in a twin stick shooter, I think is pretty novel. But if you have a friend who
with a squad support machine gun.
Yeah, and you're being attacked by cyborgs, and he's like, get down. You drop on your belly, and he hoses them down with the machine gun. That's really fun, actually. Like, it makes for all these situations, especially when you have 4 people playing, where you've got to be watching where your buddies are shooting all the time, or you will get destroyed.
Yeah, so it seems like that's the thing that is back in a big way. Like, if you look at Dark Souls or something like that, or a lot of indie roguelikes, permadeath, stuff like that, consequences, it seems like, are back in a big way. Like, they're not really trying to invite you anymore. They're trying to engage you and challenge you with novel mechanics and high difficulty, and I'm ready for it. What jobs?
Did you laugh because I drew a nipple?
Here, can I see the nipple? Mm-hmm.
It's just a nipple, man. Everybody's got them.
Sometimes
I guess I shouldn't say that. Not everybody has one, I guess. There's probably people that don't have nipples.
What jobs, if any, do you think you would want to be doing if Penny Arcade never took off?
We want to be doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, this isn't an alternate. This isn't a parallel universe where the Nazis won, and there was no Penny Arcade.
That's the direct result of the Nazis winning?
It's one of many.
Everything else is identical, but there's no Penny Arcade cartoon.
Right? There's no Baskin Robbins. Or it's like 32 flavors
It's
or
32
something.
flavors, that's what it is. You come out of your time machine, my God! 32!
That's right. It's like Führer's favorite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's got that eagle thing. All right, sorry. Maybe, who knows? Maybe that's too much. But we're not a good judge of that.
Historically, no.
No. I mean, I would say that if Penny Arcade hadn't taken off, I would have I think inertia would have set in IT-wise. I think that I'd just be fixing people's library computers and crying a lot. I think that would be my job. Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah, I don't
that.
know. I mean, Circuit City went out of business, so I wouldn't be working there.
No, I think that you'd still be there.
Yeah. But
You
now
would've-
now it's like a Whole Foods. I'd probably just be like in the
You
produce
would,
department.
you would haunt it like a ghost.
Yeah.
You'd be trying to, you'd be in the produce aisle, but you'd be like trying to sell them spectral computers. How did you come up with the names for Gabe and Tycho? Well, this is going to be a lot of fun, because Gabe was not your original handle at all. In
We've
fact,
already told that story.
yeah, but we're going to tell it again. So
There's
you
no,
don't
everyone here knows that story.
you don't know that, first of all.
Does anyone here not know what my first handle was? Yeah, shit.
See, there's lots of slack space there, brother.
I will tell your first handle.
Well,
I mean, this is a nuclear war, right?
is this mutually assured destruction?
It is.
But but I can actually bleed the damage out of that by saying that my first handle was Sawblade.
No!
Because now I've taken ownership of it, motherfucker. Sawblade, but I was 13, so get a load of this. SAWBLAIDE. Yeah, 3 edgy, 5 me. But then I realized that that was not sufficiently hardcore when I turned 16. And that's when we went into Pariah. I don't know if that is okay. And then eventually I settled on Tycho for a bunch of reasons. One of the reasons is dumb. It's just that Tycho has 5 letters, or Tico, I guess, right? And then Brahe, or Bra, right, has 5 letters. The symmetry kind of chubbed me up a little bit. And then on top of that, he seems like he was a total goofus. Like, he was like, I guess he like got his elk super drunk all the time. First of all, he had an elk. I mean, I guess we should start with the elk. Got into a duel over some mathematical shit and got his nose cut off. Like, I just love it. And he had all the best information, came to all the wrong conclusions. Like, that's who you want to name yourself after, I guess. Maybe I need to rethink of that a little bit. But, Morak, I'm going to give you an opportunity.
You're so kind to kill myself.
Just fall right on it.
My first handle was Peach. Because I was a huge fan of the presidents of the United States of America.
Millions of peaches.
Peaches for free. But everyone thought I was a woman. Can't imagine why. And so I wanted to make it.
Well, no, not just a woman, but a woman who wanted to be constantly exposed to a high-pressure stream of sexual requests.
Yeah, it got old real quick.
Wait, but hold on a second. I'll take over. So,
What? What story are you
hold
telling?
on. So instead of changing the handle to something else, he's like, well, the problem is that the name is just not intimidating. I'm gonna change my name to Deadly Peach. And this did not dissuade these men for one moment.
No, I
In
think
fact,
it excited a lot
no,
of them.
if anything, it only stoked their ardor.
Stoked their what?
It's a word. And so then you went to Gabriel, but what's the full name? What's the full handle for Gabriel?
No. I was so young.
But it's okay. This is okay.
I am nearly 40 now, and I was so young.
Are you ready? Gabriel, the art angel. Yeah. Listen, it is okay to have been young at one point. I think it's common. Pretend the entire PA staff is on the cast of Survivor. What narratives, dramas, and roles end up unfolding? Who is in the final three? Who wins?
Robert wins.
Yeah,
That's no question.
yeah, Robert definitely wins.
But only after forming and then destroying multiple alliances.
You know, the way I see it, like, it doesn't even matter, like, what the island is. It actually ends with Robert using our labor to build an ark.
Yeah.
And
He
then
would leave the island, yeah.
and then escaping the island solo. Right? That's how that story ends. Jerry, you named your daughter after Ronya the robber's daughter. Yeah, right? It balls out of control. In a hypothetical universe in which another man had not scooped your privates out like a serving of ice cream, what other literary characters would you name your future children after?
We actually had this question in Australia. That's really funny. Remember that?
Yeah, but I don't remember. Oh, but I don't remember my great answer.
Mine was Ender.
Yeah, Ender's pretty fly.
Yeah.
God, this is it. I mean, this is the problem, right? So you're talking to a person whose handle was Sawblade, and that person is still in there. Do you know? I'm not sure that I could keep from naming a son Raceland.
Oh, come on. Yes, you can.
I think that I could do it, and I think that it would be okay. I think that Brenna would leave me,
Yes.
maybe with good reason.
Raceland. You monster.
All right. On a personal level, do you think, I know, right? Do you think there are too many PAXs for either of you two guys to handle on a personal shit type level? I like that. How long until a convention every 3 months burns you guys out, and then what? So what we have been told by Robert is that 4 PAXs is all the PAXs. That there's just like a quadrilogy of PAXs, and then you can, and then there's no more PAXs. And so the way we have it set up now is that it starts in September, and then it ends now, and then theoretically, there are 6 months where I only have to do my regular job, and then we start doing PAXs again on the other side. So he says that this is actually the limit.
Which is good, because I don't think I could do another one.
You think 5 would be the
I
one?
think 5 would be too many PAXs.
You just come out on stage. So it's like this, right? It's like the hustling thing goes on, right? And then it goes, right? And then it opens, right? And then we're just like, right?
Shaking and pissing ourselves.
No, and then no, but then I'll reach over and get the question, I'll open it up, and then I'll look at it, and then I'll just go, right? And that's, well, obviously, I mean, I think that's what we want to avoid.
Yeah.
Like, just for the brand,
That seems good.
right? So here's the reality, is that, you know, when PAX starts, or the day before PAX, I'm like, okay, is this even possible for me to do psychologically? And then, as soon as it starts, and I meet people, and they're having a good time, and I make a bunch of new friends, then at that point, like when PAX ends, I actually, the sensation that I have is that I'm ready to do it again the next weekend. So I get a lot back from people who attend the show. Oh, yeah. Yes, the self-clap. Mike and Jerry, over all your time playing tabletop RPGs, oh no, what are the most amusing, embarrassing character names you have used? And then, but this is very cool. So this is from Chicago, Illinois, but in quotes, they have entered Switchblade, which I think is them giving us some information about their own predilections. Man, oh man.
I mean, Jim was really my first character that I can remember.
Well,
I played that
you
one
played
game
a
of.
game in Mage, but he had a normal name. It wasn't anything.
Yeah, it wasn't weird.
Yeah, you were.
That was
you
the
were-
only time I role played before
No,
that.
you flexed good.
I came out of the gate strong.
No, god damn it. So, God, Jerry, why? So, you. Okay. I had two characters that didn't have names. Do you want to hear why? All right. So, the ranger was mute and could only talk to animals. And then I also had a bard that was the living incarnation of song. The mute ranger actually worked out for me in the end, though. Right? Yeah, it worked out for me real good, like in a sex way. You know what I'm talking about. What's the highest you've ever been?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's the-
Oh, I do know what you're talking about. I remember that story.
Yeah. What's the highest you've ever been? This is from Trans Lucia.
What?
I didn't make it up. I think Trans Lucia might be high now. That might be their high name. The highest? Oh, it's actually in the comic strip. We've referenced it twice. So there was a point where I came to believe that I had invented the hippo.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. You saw where there was no hippo.
And I said, no, this will not do. So, but it wasn't super clear to me if I had invented the specific hippo that was in front of me, or if I had invented the idea of a hippo, and that's where all the rest of the hippos had come from. But the problem, it seems fun, but then I realized that the exertion of maintaining this hippo made me forget to breathe. So if I wanted to, it was very sad. If I wanted to keep the hippo, it was like Sophie's Choice.
Do you remember, there was a comic strip a while ago about Metroid going free to play. There's this incredible panel like in the beginning of like looking up at Samus and she's got the gun out.
Yeah, yeah,
And then she's like diving at Mother Brain.
yeah.
Out of my mind.
Legal in my town. What is it like managing a huge convention everywhere? I have no fucking idea. You're looking at what I do at this convention right now. I make friends. It's the princess wave,
It is. We come out and we do our princess wave.
right?
That's it.
Yeah. If Robert could tell you, but for him, I mean, I think that it's no problem. I don't get the impression that it is any exertion for him at all. Or maybe he's just really good at compartmentalizing it. I don't know. He's got a good team, too. Done, done, done. Mike, what act that you've committed against Jerry makes you feel the most guilt? Jerry, same question.
Wow. That's a good question.
It's a good question, but I don't track guilt. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a column for that.
God, let me think. I mean, there's something.
Is there something? You done something that you actually think about?
Yeah. Well, not that I think about regularly, but now that it's asked of me, I can think about it.
What is it?
I feel bad about that trick we played on you with Robert and I where we had the girl note.
Yeah, where you had a woman write a note that invited me to spend time with them, and you had a
Well,
woman in
there
the
was, like-
lobby write it in
Yeah.
her handwriting, and then you put perfume on it, and then you put it under the door of my room? Is that the situation you're thinking of?
Yeah, I feel guilty about that. I mean, not super guilty, but like.
Oh, I was at PAX South.
This recent PAX South?
Yeah, we were doing the Q&A, and I had told a story about my son Elliot, and then it was just really real for me, and then I had to come down from that level of intensity, and I did it by belittling your ability to feel and think.
I don't even remember that.
Oh, good. I didn't do it then. Frozen hot dog.
It'll
fairy.
happen.
Nice. What is your ideal meal? As in, if you were on death row and could ask for anything and everything in a meal to eat, what would you have?
I like that joke where it's like, if you're on death row, you ask for the McRib. It's just very rarely available. Like,
Right. Depending on the time of year, you could ask for a Shamrock Shake,
yeah,
or or PSL, right? The pumpkin spice latte. That's strategic.
yeah.
That's using your noodle.
It would actually probably be just like a Thanksgiving dinner. Like, that's my favorite time to eat, I guess. I don't know. I love Thanksgiving.
I'd probably be like a filet mignon or something like that,
Yeah.
because it's like a magic trick. Like if you have the steak that has the bone, then you eat it, and then there's this bone. You're supposed to chew on it, I guess. A little bit. It's weird, but fuck them. But if you eat the filet mignon, when you're done, it's like there was never a steak. It has a mystical quality.
I think it's just a steak, man.
I spend a lot of time thinking about this steak.
The fuck?
Oh, okay. All right. So we need to start tracking this. So sometimes it happens after we open the envelope,
But
and then
that was a
sometimes
different sound.
Sometimes it's a sound from Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
All right. If there comes a day that either of you, Mike or Jerry, doesn't want to do Penny Arcade the webcomic anymore, would the other continue with a new partner? That makes me want to kill. Or would that effectively end Penny Arcade as you two know it?
No, I wouldn't keep doing it. I mean, honestly, I think when we're ready to quit, it'll be a mutual thing. That's my guess, right?
Yeah. But what's interesting is that we've decided to quit independently. I mean, it's been a very long time since that's happened,
Yeah.
right? I mean, these days, that seems like it's going pretty good. I don't know.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah. But there have been times earlier in this continuum where one of us had basically quit,
Yeah.
mentally quit. And then they were just sort of going along with it, right? Oh no, dude, it has to, okay, perfect. All right, as long as there's a tear sickle coming down. There we go. That's it. That's what I saw in my nightmare vision. Perfect. But yeah, I mean, we have independently quit, and then just decided to sort of ride it out,
Yeah.
and then it kept going. So then we came back on board. Ooh. As horrible of an idea as it would be to execute, oh man, I would still totally watch and rewatch a strip search that focused on making a team to replace you guys.
Oh, I've had that fantasy.
Oh my God. You thought about this already?
Oh, absolutely. Like a Willy Wonka thing, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I would love to go out that way.
We send out the golden tickets.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so cool. Obviously, far down the road, when you both give up this shit, thoughts, Parker and Lancaster Pa.
But then they'd be like, no, you drank the fizzy lifting drink. That would be great.
We'd have to chastise them
Yeah.
for drinking imaginary liquids.
Who would be the Oompa Loompas? I don't know. I don't know who would be the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah.
Hey, not cool, man. But kind of funny.
How would you describe your O face?
What?
From Craig in Canada, it's like Doctor Doom. I would say that my mouth becomes sort of small and rectangular, and my face becomes steel. I would say that that's basically that's how I get down. I don't know what your deal is.
Hold on.
Are you gonna give us an example? Oh man, this is a premium experience. Your face just becomes an O? It just becomes like a hole? We might be getting too much. Oh, jeez.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Man, you were fucking cruising on this thing.
I am, man. Look at this. I'm killing
It's
it. 39
crazy.
minutes left.
What lullabies did you sing to each of your children? I don't know that
Oh,
one.
God, I have a funny story about that,
Yeah,
actually.
I
haven't
don't
told
know
you
that
this.
one. Will you sing it for me? That's nice, nice and conversational here, Brian from Rochester.
So I can't sing. Like, I'm not a singer at all.
That's-
But
yes.
you still have to sing to your kids. Like,
You have no choice.
Yeah, my job with both boys has been I put them to bed, which means I read them a story and I sing them a song. And both boys I've sung the same song to, 2 songs. Gabe got Great Big, is it Great Big Sky by David Wilcox?
Sure.
But then they also loved the Mermaid song by Great Big Sea, which is actually just a song version of a poem by Shel Silverstein about a mariner who falls overboard and falls in love with a mermaid. But the first 2 verses are about, oh, she was so beautiful. She had, green hair and blue skin. I liked everything about her, but I didn't like the tail. Right? That's the first part, which is a fun little kid song. But then the 3rd verse says, then one day she swam away, and I sang to the clams and the whales, oh, how I missed her seaweed hair and the silver shine of her scales. But then her sister, she swam by and set my heart a whirl, because her upper part was an ugly fish, but the bottom part was a girl.
So that doesn't get sung to
So
these kids?
I always sang that to Noah, who's only 4, and then a couple nights ago I was like, ooh, he might be old enough now that he's like gonna start asking about that, right? Like, that's weird. So I tried to sing it different. I said, but the bottom part is a squirrel.
It's a squirrel.
Yeah, and I tried to just keep singing and go with it, and he goes, stop, Daddy. And I'm like, what? And he goes, not squirrel. And I'm like, yeah, her bottom part was a squirrel. He's like, no, bottom part was a girl. I'm like, oh, shit.
Got dark seeds.
Yeah.
No, when I actually sang to Elliot before he was born, and it was weird because then after he was born, when I would sing the same song, he would just swivel like the deck gun of a ship, just like bam, like.
Oh, he recognized it.
I think that he was like, holy shit, that's my jam, bam, like no problem.
From a womb jam.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was just the Crocolisk song, which is not even a real song. It's just a song. Well, it's because I used to try to play World of Warcraft with Pork, but he's got ADHD for real, and so during the day, no problem. But then around 10,
We call it pork after hours.
it's called Pork After Hours. Then around 10, like his medicine would wear off, and he would just take you on a fucking magic carpet ride just around Azeroth, and you just try to keep up. And so eventually, like, he was obsessed with getting this Crocolisk skin, so I had to entertain myself with this song that is not even really a song.
Drum roll?
I don't know. What keeps you up at night? This is from Bickens and Combridge.
I don't know. I sleep pretty good.
Yeah, these days?
Yeah. Actually, I mean, if I'm up at night, I'm usually trying to think of a comic. Like, it'll be the day before we're going to write, and I'll be laying in bed, and I'll be, like, trying to think of ideas that I could bring in the next day to sort of, like, jumpstart stuff.
Yeah, no, I figured out this crazy trick. So one weird trick, right? To go to sleep. So I don't. I mean, by the time I go to bed, it's time to. I'm there because I can't actually do anything anymore. Like I'm non-functional. I've played Darkest Dungeon until I can't entirely see all the text, and then I sort of like schlup up the stairs, and then I fall sideways into bed, and then what I figured out how to do is if I'm thinking about something, or if I'm stressed out about something and I can't go to sleep, I imagine that I contain it in a luminescent pearl, and I place it to the front of my forehead up where I can't see it. And then as soon as I go through this ritual, as soon as I place it up here, I go right to sleep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it works. It's like a shelf. I put it on my psychic shelf.
Cool, man.
Have you ever felt the need to just shake things up because your life was becoming too mundane or predictable? This is from Batman in New York. I would say that my life is neither mundane nor predictable. I would say that my life is completely batshit, and something that would be mundane or predictable sounds pretty good. I think that could be neat. I don't know. I fetishize the normal now.
I will say, I guess that's not entirely true, because this year I've decided to shake things up in terms of, like, artistically. I decided that I was not drawing. I was only drawing when I had work to do, like when I had to make the comic or when I had, some job that needed me to draw. And it actually got to the point where I wasn't just drawing for fun anymore. And so I decided this year to draw for fun again. And I've been sketching in a sketchbook every night and posting them on Mondays. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I have done that.
Good job.
Thanks. I don't need your approval.
In older PATV fourth panel episodes, we see the two of you scouring news sites for nuggets of comic material. With the closure of a few gaming news sites over the last year or two, including the PA Report, where are each of you getting the latest gaming deets? Do you find yourselves primarily going to community-curated sources such as Our Games, or is there a particular publication you still find worthwhile to read?
I mean, I get all my news from Reddit now.
Yeah.
But it's either games, gaming, or specific subreddits for the games that I'm currently playing.
Yeah, I get. I'm trying to think. Where do I actually get the original news? Where do I feast on news? Honestly, I think Steam has improved its curation a lot. You know where I get most of my gaming news? Now that it comes up and it populates that top, it's putting a lot more interesting shit in there that I find I'm actually picking up. And then where I go for a lot of my gaming news, this is totally weird, but it's Kickstarter. Like, Kickstarter is where you can see, Kickstarter is basically a preview of the indie shit that is going to be coming out in 6 months to a year. I find myself playing a lot of games that were Kickstarted or grabbing something on early access that was Kickstarted and I didn't even know it.
It's funny, like, we keep talking about Helldivers being one of our favorite games right now.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it, but we had jumped onto the Unreal. It's not even alpha, right? It's like pre-alpha.
Oh, yeah. This is crazy. This is how we found out about Helldivers?
Yeah.
It was in that chat?
Yeah, so we downloaded the Unreal pre-alpha. And has anyone else here tried that?
I would describe it
No,
as a
maybe not.
pre-alpha.
Yeah, their lobby system is horseshit right now. It makes no sense, and you just end up in this global chat with a bunch of people who can't start the game. And somebody in there was like, man, this sucks. I think I'm just going to go play Helldivers. And Jerry and I looked at each other and were like, what the fuck is Helldivers? And so we closed Unreal and immediately got Helldivers, and it's great.
Yeah, it was an excellent decision. Like, that's where you want to do your marketing, games industry people. go into the Unreal Tournament lobby because they can't join the game.
They're not playing anything.
No, and just give them the barest hint of a suggestion. I'm talking about 6 sales. Are you currently playing any tabletop RPGs outside of Acquisitions Incorporated engagements? Yes, when I can, I try to maintain a torchbearer game.
Do you maintain a torch in your heart?
For torchbearer, I
Yeah.
bear a torch. Yeah, torchbearer is based on Burning Wheel. Have you ever played Mouse Guard? It's all sort of the same system. It has a really neat way of resolving like any contest, whether it's between 2 people, whether they want to fight each other or convince each other or argue with a group or outrun a jaguar. Like it's sort of the same mechanical system, and it is just really, really smart. And I guess you play a lot of Thornwatch.
Play a lot of Thornwatch,
So-
actually, yeah.
That's how you get down. Oh, so 8 o'clock tonight?
8 o'clock tonight in tabletop. Last night we were full by 8 o'clock, though. We only had 55 slots, and I think there were people lining up around 7:30 last
Yeah.
night.
But this is a different setup than previously, where you're actually just handing them all the materials for them to misinterpret, for them to shred your baby.
Yeah,
Right?
that was difficult to watch, but it ended up going really well. And actually, we have there's a Thornwatch panel after this at 1 in Dragonfly, too, if you're
Oh, well,
interested
there
in
you
the
go.
game.
Hey guys, when you write your characters, do they have particular voices? I feel like Twisp and Catsby especially evoke specific, vaguely British voices. Yeah, me too.
I can see that.
Yep, almost automatically when I read them. Catsby sounds kind of like Dick Dastardly, and Twisp is aloof and refined. Perfect. That is exactly how I think of them too. Do you think about accent and dialect, voice type for your characters? If so, what do they sound like to you?
We actually do a lot of it. We write jokes and then have to stop. Like, we're like, oh, that joke won't work because we can't say it. Like, we'll say things
Yeah,
in a funny voice or like that we think sound funny, but we're like, we can't communicate that in the comic. That
yeah.
happens.
Or it wouldn't work in that setting.
Right.
But one of my favorite things to read, and if you have a second, go back and check it out. It's from a while ago, but it's like the 9 pages we did of Sand, which is like a sci-fi Western thing that we came up with in high school and were just unable to execute. And then we came back to it like 20 years later, and it turned out okay. that dialect, that sort of drawl, is really, really fun to write for. And so basically when
There's
we...
also the strip, y'all boys
yeah.
as prisoners of your own butts. That one, I have a funny voice for that guy in my head.
Yeah. It's like what?
Daddy, he done shit up my butt.
Yes. So yeah, usually when we're writing it, we're usually doing it in, for the most part, poorly executed accents. Are there any major differences between audience you see and interact with between the 4 different areas PAX is held, and why are Australians the nicest and most handsome? This is from Chris in Melbourne, Australia. So, very nice. Well executed, Chris. However many points they associate with success in your country. So, it could be negative points. I mean, I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
Down under.
I'll tell you, you know what? So we actually just did PAX South for the first time. And in general, when you go to a PAX and you meet and talk to people, they pretty much all want to be there, and they all like a lot of the same stuff, and they're very easy to talk to. That's been my experience. PAX, we rent the building, and then people bring this convention called PAX with them, and it works apparently no matter where you do it on Earth. So it's pretty mystical. I try not to think about that part of it too much. I will tell you something that is different about Australia, culturally though, when it comes to the show, and that's that Australians don't line up for stuff. They don't do it. If the panel is at a certain time, right, there's no line out front. And you might think that no one wanted to go to that panel, but you were wrong. What happens is that around the time the panel starts, people just fill it. They just fill it like, ever seen like when you're doing like insulation, like spray insulation? It's like a person hose is affixed to the doorway, and people just shoot in and fill up the theater in this super efficient, super fast way, but no one ever waits in a line. I don't know, I'd never seen anything like that before. They just don't want to. They don't think that is a fun way to do it. What part of the Thornwatch game, did you finish the strip?
Yeah.
Jesus. Nice work, man.
Thanks. Thank you.
You gonna hook him up with some trill?
Yeah.
What part of the Thornwatch game are you most excited about? And can you give us any update about the progress of Thornwatch? No.
Most excited.
I can't. It's not my game.
I'm most excited to get it out, like to actually have the final version in people's hands. As far as progress, I think the goal is to launch a Kickstarter this year. If everything goes well, then maybe the game out next year is the plan.
Yeah.
But this is our first time doing anything like this, so you know, we'll see what happens. Okay.
Nice.
Now they're just having a good time back there.
Yeah. Enjoy yourselves, fellas. As parents, how would you react should you come home one afternoon and find your spawn staring at a computer reading the strips?
Oof. I mean, Gabe has read some strips. Like, he's read strips that he's in.
Yeah, absolutely. Ronya, I have to pull up the Titania strip for Ronya all the time. She loves that. Like, she's in that first panel.
I mean, honestly, it wouldn't bother me. We've talked to Gabe, like, as far as our parenting goes.
You talked to him about potty words?
Yeah, there's a lot of words that get said that are bad words, right? But the reality is that, you know, those bad words paid for his house. So, like, he should know them. And our thing is, like, I would rather he know the words and know when and when not to use them than try to make up some mystical thing about bad words.
Oh, yeah, about evil words?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I think is a better lesson. But that's us.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be okay. But the idea that the illicit materials children find are the ones that you made,
Yeah.
that's some pretty next level shit. I recently got married and bought a house. Our first travel plans we made together was to make sure to get to PAX. This is our first PAX together. Rick, are you here? Is that a thing? Hey, man, what's up? With all the changes in your lives and the new show, how has PAX changed for you both over the years?
Our schedule has definitely gotten lighter. Like,
Yeah.
I was just walking around the show floor yesterday.
Yeah, I would say that's the main thing that has changed since PAX started. Is that, you know, once it had gotten to a certain scale, like once it had gotten to a scale that I couldn't conceive of it, I was able to relax a little bit. And you know, Robert has loosened the schedule up a lot, so that I've got a huge block of time. I mean, after this, I'm going to go down and play some board games, like in the sort of the indie board game showcase thing they have in the exhibition hall. I talked to some dudes yesterday. They really want me to come by, and I can't. I was like, I can do that. It is actually like chronologically possible for this to happen. So I would say that we're sort of in the process of like becoming attendees in some way.
Yeah.
The schedule is loose. We can actually go to this show, and it's really cool, actually. I like it. Ugh. Has there been any thought to adding cameras around the office for Club PA members to watch?
I actually brought that up.
Really?
Yeah.
With no microphones.
No
I hope.
microphones, no. But cameras.
Like infrared?
Yeah, sure.
Meaning a way that Club PA members could go on virtual tours of the offices, see what's going on at PA that day, a chance to sit in on live recordings of the podcast, watch the crew play some ping pong, etc. Well, that stuff's kind of cool. I was thinking about sort of like the weaponized applications of this technology, right? Ugh. But no, I think that, I don't know, that's not a super bad idea at all. When and why was it decided to be Gabe and Tycho as opposed to Tycho and Gabe? Is there an official policy?
Well, there's no official policy, but I'm sure, like, do you have the same thing? Do you have couple friends?
Yes.
Like, we have couple friends. I have Travis and Courtney. It's always Travis and Courtney. Brad and Trish.
So you're saying that the man's name always comes first? Is that, have I interpreted you correctly?
Let me see if that's true. It might be. Say Jerry and Brenna. No, I say Amber and Robert.
Oh. That is an interesting data point.
Yeah. I don't know. Gabe and Tycho just sounds right.
It just sounds and feels great.
Okay.
You are living the /A dream. However, the human spirit is rarely satisfied with the status quo. So what is it that you now dream? What must you now do to avoid having regrets? Wow. What a delicious person. Yeah, I mean, as far as our status quo is pretty turbulent. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, the reality is that if we want to do something different, we just do it.
yeah, we're not very good at doing the same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Or we're incapable of it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw, we started this storyline about Trill Friday, and...
For no reason.
For no reason. I mean, it has nothing, it's just a weird story about lookouts and daughters in the woods, but I went and looked at the comments underneath that first comic, and a lot of them were like, oh, this is going to be good, I can't wait. And then one was like, ugh, this again, blah. And it's like, I don't care. Like, this is what I want to do right now. Like, you can not come to Penny Arcade for a couple days if you want, but, like, I got bored and I wanted to do this. So, yeah, if we want to change it up and do something different, we just do.
Yeah. We're not physically capable of just doing the same thing over. Gamers are very good at establishing communities within and around the games that they love. If 75% of your friend pool had to come from one game community, this is rad. Which game would you choose? Bonus, which game community would you choose for each other? This is from Zach in New Jersey. That is a rad question.
That's a good question.
I'm trying to think, where's the most incredible community I'd ever seen? A lot of times it happens around some indie thing where it's super curated interpersonal relationships, right? Has anybody ever even heard of A Tale in the Desert? Okay, so I'm sorry that I have to waste your time, but I have to tell everybody else what the game is. So A Tale in the Desert is a game where people spawn in and then they rebuild brick by brick Egyptian society. That's really the game, now that I think of it. And so I was like, okay, that seems batshit. Let's see what's up. So I install it and I sign in, and the first thing I see is a person there. But like in WoW, you would see a person and they would have like the question mark, right? And you'd be like, oh, okay, I need to click on this person. And so I assumed that this person was someone to click on and not a human. But this human was there to greet people who signed in and teach them how to play the game. They didn't work for the company. But if they didn't teach me how to play, they wouldn't have a good society. So then he started teaching me how to farm crops. And I was just like, I just signed in. And I was like, oh, okay, I assume that I'll be able to, you know, attack an elite mob, you know, or something. I'm sure they have like super Egyptians or something that I got to deal with. ISIS, right? Set.
Too
You know,
soon.
not that ISIS. And so, different ISIS, guys. And so, he's teaching me like about pollen and like how the crops, and I was just like, holy shit. But it wasn't weird. I met a lot of people in that game like that, and they all wanted like to help me play the game and also help me be a better person. It was gross.
Yeah, I don't know where I would draw my friends from. Can you think of anything like that would
Hearthstone?
make sense for me?
Like, would you like to
Ugh.
have friends that just repeat like 4 canned phrases? Would that be convenient
Oh,
for
actually,
you?
that would be pretty nice.
Pictionary.
No.
Yeah, that's it. The Monopoly online community is so hardcore, you guys.
Buh.
I think I would pick the LOL community for you
I can
But
get along with those folks. yeah.
because you're on that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I could roll with them.
That's right. It's like it's all it's all just like brutes abusing each other.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like that's kind of your deal.
Cool.
Tycho's blog entry about his son's medical struggles and his father's passing may be the strongest writing I've seen from him. Certainly his eulogy for his father is the most haunting. How do Tycho and Gabe find the wherewithal to share themselves with us so intimately, and how has doing so altered their lives? So this is sort of like the status quo thing for me. I don't know how not to invite people into my life. I just don't have a boundary. I don't have a sense of boundary. Like I don't have a separation. I just
Yeah.
when I talk to a person, I'm actually doing that. Like that's who I'm talking to right now, and they're a person like me, and they've got fucking shit going on, and you know what I mean? Like I don't know how not to do that. I don't have the capacity to not do it. So it isn't like something that I'm doing. I can't be lauded for it. I can't help but do it. Right?
It's the way we started out.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like the world's, like, you know, weirdest diary comic, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do it because I feel like with the serious stuff, I feel like it'll help someone else, which is, you know, a plus. But also, I just feel like that's what people sort of come to Penny Arcade for. I don't know, I guess I think of some measure of the success we've had has been because we have always been, like, ridiculously honest to a fault, you know? Like,
To a fault.
Yeah, to a fault. A lot of faults. Because, you know, we are just normal people, and we don't always have the right ideas or, you know, at the right time, but we're very honest, and that's about all I can say about, you know, the work that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it's honest.
Yeah, at least it's true.
At least we didn't lie to you. Do we get any points for that? I don't know. Oh, thanks. You've now been to all 4 PAXs currently in existence. Which is currently your favorite? No. And then which is currently your least favorite? Ah! I shall now say currently one last time. Currently. Shit, yeah, it's a trap. Oh, jeez.
They aren't really that I don't like. I would say, like, if I rank them in terms of most favorite.
Yeah, most favorite. Like, I mean, listen, here's the reality. It's still PAX. Like, it's still way better than other things.
Yeah. I mean, the truth is, like, I love Australia. I hate the flight there. Like that trip to Australia is a fucking nightmare for me.
So you don't feel like being in a dark tube for
Ugh.
16 hours
No.
improves you?
No. But I love it once I get there. Like
It's
that's probably one of my favorite places to be.
It's so weird, but there's a part in that flight where you just evaporate. Like you feel like you're in a mausoleum or something. Like
Yeah.
you ever hit that like surreal
Oh
point?
yeah, it gets weird.
Well, it gets weird fast, and they keep trying to simulate sunrise with the lights.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I feel like I'm being conditioned like to murder or something. Oh, what was the top secret reason for no longer attending San Diego Comic-Con? 2 reasons. 1, it sucks. And 2, is that too much? I don't know.
I don't
2,
think you're wrong.
Well, no. Once we had 4 PAXs, like San Diego Comic-Con,
It didn't fit.
it didn't fit. That would be 5 conventions like this a year,
Yeah.
and that's the razor's edge. You know what I mean?
God, you're always saying that something is the razor's edge, and it's not.
Some things. What if like a razor? What about?
Oh,
the,
an actual razor, yes, would be the razor's edge.
Well-
I'll give you that.
All right. Well, you said there wasn't. Listen, we'll bring this up later. Jerry, I really enjoy your posts / tweets pertaining to etymology. Gadzooks was my favorite. Do you have any new word morsels to share with us? Word morsels. Oh, yeah. So the etymology for cancer is really awful. I don't know if you are familiar with it. So cancer, like the astrological sign is the crab,
Sure.
right? And you're like, well, people don't have crabs inside them. Like, what do we
Some
call it?
people do.
Well, some people, they have them like outside,
Yeah.
right?
Depends on how bad you got it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But it's designed like it's the visual of the tumor and all the veins and protrusions coming out from it that were reminiscent of
Oh, a
the legs of a
crab?
crab,
Ugh.
right?
That's gross.
Ugh. That changed my life.
Now I just want to see what the noise is going to be.
That's tasteful.
How aware are your kids of what you do, how big an audience you have, and what are your biggest fears / worries about having your kids grow up with, quote, famous parents? Do you worry about kids teasing them about any comics or worry about them reading certain comics you've made? This is from Bickens in Cambridge. No, I mean, like I go to Gabe's school a lot. I've taught a cartooning class at his school since he was in kindergarten, and now these kids are in 4th grade, and so they all know me.
Yeah, but we are not famous in the way that kids perceive fame at all.
No, I like Gabe does not think of me as famous until I introduced him to Notch. Like, I was like, "Do you want to meet Notch?" And he's like, "You can do that."
Yeah, exactly. Like Notch.
Yeah, that's why I'm a cool guy,
Right.
not because of my works.
Yeah. Your many works.
My many works.
But no, Markiplier.
That's
is
a famous guy. Oh my God! So yesterday we had our signing, our autograph signing.
This is rad. First of all, Markiplier, we didn't have any pens at our table, and we had to steal a couple, and I'm sorry.
We stole your pens. So his table was over here, and our table was over here. And as we were doing our signing, his line is forming, and it's just fucking massive. And as ours ended, he was getting there to do his, and I'd never seen him before. And I thought I recognized, I bet that's him, right?
You probably saw him on your son's laptop. Maybe it's the
Maybe.
wallpaper.
So as we're walking
His
away,
real dad,
I
Markiplier.
turn to you and I go, I think that's Markiplier. Oh, please put the comic strip full screen. Is that just a note for me? Like, are you guys able to talk to me through these screens?
Here, do you have any other messages for us? Tell us what to do.
Now it's flashing. I'm doing it as fast as I can.
Listen, we will do anything you put on that screen. Just guide us. Guide us, magic screen.
It's happening. I'm sorry. It's loading. There.
Full screen.
That's about as full as I can get. So anyway, I turn to Jared and I go, I think that's Markiplier over there. Because he has like, this guy in like a black hoodie. And this kid was walking by, and he goes, "Yeah, that's Markiplier." And I go, "Oh, is he a cool guy?" And the kid goes, "Yeah, he's a cool guy. 6 million subscribers." I was like, "Oh shit. Sorry, I fucked with Markiplier."
Yeah, you don't fucks with Markiplier.
No.
You know what I mean?
But he was like scandalized that I would even question. He seemed like a cool guy.
Yeah, there's just there's this new pantheon,
Yeah.
and we are not in it. It's fine. I like what I got. Hi, Jerry. Would you like to play a game of Torchbearer here at PAX East? If during is too busy, perhaps Sunday after the Omegathon. You can invite Mike, but I don't think he would enjoy it.
Probably right.
We'd need 4 players total, but I can wrangle up a few more if needed. The quickest way to reach me would be Twitter, and then that's your handle. I appreciate that. Then your name again, Boston. I will try to get a hold of you. In fact, I'm just going to put this card, instead of putting it in the pile of garbage, I'm going to put this card in my pocket.
There you go.
You were all here for that. Enjoy. I apparently sometimes receive personal mail inside the envelopes.
What do you consider your greatest successes and, more interestingly, failures in and outside of Penny Arcade? I don't know how to say that name.
Maybe I can. Nope.
It's Nekkowe. Nekkowe?
From German. I wouldn't
Germany?
even. Don't even. Just put it down.
All
Put
right.
it down face down. All right.
Greatest success, probably PAX and Child's Play.
Yeah.
Failures, that we still don't have a Penny Arcade theme park. But I'm sure there's an honest answer in there. You say something. Let me think of an honest answer. Like,
I think that we have it in us to do an excellent strip search 2,
yeah, that's a good one.
and we haven't done it.
Yeah.
Do you guys know each other's passwords for games and sites
Yes.
and stuff like that?
Because yours are ridiculous. I know your passwords.
Do you actually know them?
I could easily figure one out. I mean, you base it all on the same seed.
Well, I have a seed, but then, so after the PSN hack, did it change your approach to passwords? Yeah, so I don't have this. I used to have like the same password or like the same sort of root
Yeah.
for a bunch of sites. And since then, I have completely flipped out.
Oh, really?
Like my passwords are nuts. Like a lot of times I will just type in like a 14-character alphanumeric string of bullshit. And then if I ever need to go back, I'll request a password. Like there are some sites legit I don't even have passwords for.
God, maybe I don't know it then. You know all mine.
Yeah, I know yours. I know all of them.
I iterate.
Well, here, what's so funny is that,
You're talking about my passwords here, man.
no, listen, no, it's like this. So you have the password, and then sometimes it won't work, and then I'll be like, oh, does this have alpha level security? And you're like, yeah, and that just means another 0. You know what I mean?
It's high security.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting hacked. Great.
You're gonna get super hacked. Yeah.
Just read it out loud.
Distinguished gentlemen, over the past year or so, we've seen a number of things happen in the culture surrounding gaming, resulting in, to put it lightly, a great deal of controversy. Controversy. This ongoing storm severely dampened my love for my hobby of choice. My question to you then is, what do you do to help yourself recapture the joy of gaming when your enthusiasm for it is damaged? I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. The thing you have to realize is that controversy only exists online, and it's very small. Like when you come to PAX, you realize how many people just like to play games
Like to play games
and are nice to each other.
and are nice to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when people talk about the gaming community, I see it every 2 months, and I like what I see. So,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.